Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. You've been listening to your Tilton Talk Show.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Tilton Talk. No Nick this week, I'm afraid. He's not very well, he's poorly. But we do have Paul Hipkiss.
Evening all. Good to be back. Super sorry.
Yes, Claire, get it in nice and early.
We also have Alan Watton.
Good evening, everybody.
Miss Claire Giblin.
Good evening.
Mark Adams.
Hello all. Hope everyone's okay.
And some other bloke. Oh, and Craig Courtney.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday indeed. I suppose we better kick off with a fantastic result at QPR. Paul.
Yeah, wow. It was backs to the wall last 10 minutes or so, but I thought overall we deserved the 3 points. It was a great team performance, and overall, great goal we scored on the counter-attack. Could have had a couple more as well, in my opinion. Obviously, Djukovic's header was well saved. A couple of other chances during the game as well, and I just thought that we battled them really well on their own patch, and I'd like to think that that's going to see us safe now, don't you think? I mean, what are we now, 10 points clear? I'd like to think that we can sort of start to... I don't want us to unwind or relax at all or be on the beach at all yet, but let's try and finish as high up the league as we can, because we've got a chance here of getting like 14th, 15th, something like that, which I think the highest we've finished in the last 6 years or 7 years is 17th, isn't it, under Gary Monk? And that season, ironically, we got deducted 9 points. So, I think, we've got a squad of players there. And that's what frustrates me when we lose and when we go to a back five, is because we all know how much better we are with the back four. And we also know that these players can do it, and it's just all about consistency and playing everybody to their strengths and in the right positions. And when we do it, we look good. We do look good when we do it, but when we don't do it, we seem to have our bellies tickled, don't we, like we did at Watford. So, for me, and obviously at Watford, going back to Watford, he changed it at half-time and changed it back to where we should be, but it was just too little too late, wasn't it, at 2-0 down. And really, if we'd have been more clinical that night, we could have got something out of that game as well if we'd have put our chances away with Trusty and Scott Hogan's one-on-one. But overall, it's been a respectable season so far overall. Obviously, we've not been in good form since the World Cup, but let's have a good run now from now till the end of the season. It looks like some of the lads get their form back. They're getting back to form, and we're starting to look pretty good again.
We are, yeah. What about the sudden re-emergence of Roberts? That's a joy to watch.
Yeah.
Him and Long together as a centre-half partnership looked very good, and I'm not sure, was that the first time they played together? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
So that could be something that we can work with. I mean, I personally wouldn't. I personally wouldn't change anything now in the next game. Obviously, we've got 2 weeks off, so just leave it as it is for the next game. Personally, that's what I'd do. And that's what I would have done at Watford as well after we beat Rotherham personally. But you know, he decided to go with the back five at Watford, and if you're going to invite better opposition onto us, then we will get punished like we did.
That's what I couldn't understand, Paul, at Watford. I mean, we had such a solid base against Rotherham, and why that was dismantled and, you know, messed with, I don't know. But just echoing what you said, we look so much better with the four at the back. I mean, you know,
yeah. I mean, you can go back to you can go back to August September shows, and I was like a broken record every week when we were playing the back five at the start of the season, and then when he changed.
Going back to the Watford game, the way we played on the Saturday, i.e., we were up and at them, we got energy in the team, got the two youngsters, and great, you know, go to Watford, and we take the two kids out the team, we stick an extra defender in, and we stand and look at them.
Yeah.
And we're 2-0 down before we've had a kick. We had no shots by half-time. No shots by half-time. Put the kids back in, change the formation, and we should have been 4-2 up after quarter of an hour, second half.
Yeah.
We should have been 4-2 up. Now, anybody who's seen my blog, you know, we're a 1-goal-a-game team, and 2-0 down, we ain't going to win.
No.
But we've got to get that goal. I mean, we did it Saturday. We're 1-0 up. And I've got to say, it was the worst football match I've ever seen us win. It was dreadful from beginning to end. And but only because we couldn't score again. You know, we had enough chances by half time to be 3 or 4 up, and we're gonna do the Blackpool on them, but we don't. And okay, they were shocking. They played rubbish. We played okay. And, you know, I was never sitting on the... In fact, I was going... You know, looking at me watch, not because I was frightened I was losing. I just wanted to go home. It was awful. But, hey, never knock a win. 3 points. Thank you very much.
Yeah, doesn't matter how you win, does it, at the end of the day? But yeah, so you've done some miles this week as well, you, Claire? Obviously going to Watford as well. And
yeah, I did Watford and QPR. I've got to agree with you guys. I was shocked when he went to 5 at the back again.
Yeah.
I just think he just needs to stop. Just go with 4 now. You know, and everybody looks really comfortable. Everybody looks like they know what they're doing. I think with the Watford game, it proved that Chong cannot play in a midfield 3. He needs to be out wide because that's his best position. And you can tell when you've got Bilic, Bakuna, Hannibal and Chong, it just doesn't look like a good midfield. You know, we were awful first half against Watford. I mean, Colin was so out of position. This weekend he was brilliant. And they all look really comfortable, like Long and Roberts. Who would have thought that they would have been a brilliant pairing? And they were, because they knew what they were doing. Jukovic was unfortunate. The goal was good. Kadra again on the wing. He's not a striker, so he's playing where he needs to play. And I just think it just looks so much better. But Scott Hogan at the moment, that miss he did against Watford, you're 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. You literally just curl it in, and then he hit it with his other foot. And we were like, what are you doing? But a win's a win. So I'll take that. And I think he just needs to stick with the same formation. It's working. Play it. Let's see how many points we can get now. Especially now with Wigan losing points and, you know, Reading, I suppose, be losing them in the next few weeks as well. We've got to start looking at.
Yeah, Wigan got 3 today. Reading apparently 6, possibly before the end of the week. But we wait and see. Should always say never rely on another team to be for us to stay safe. But actually, this year, I think, you know, Eustace has done his job, hasn't he? I mean, he was tasked to come in to keep us up, and he's done that. I'm not going to say he's done it at a canter, but his record actually is on par with arguably some of our better managers. I think he's now gone ahead of Monk actually in terms of points to games ratio.
That's crazy.
Definitely on.
Yeah, coming back onto Hogan though, he's very much a confidence player, isn't he? And
Oh yeah.
again, repeat myself, but get James Beattie back on that training ground as a striker coach like we've had before, and I do think that would make such a difference. I really do. The way he worked with Shea Adams and he formed that partnership with Djukovic that season. I know Djukovic is 5 years older now, but he's never relied on pace, has he, Djukovic? As a player, he's not much different really to what he was then, and I think if you got Hogan and Djukovic as a partnership going again like we did for a few games under Pep Clotet, then we might just see that partnership come back with the right coaching. And I'm not saying we haven't got good coaches, because we have, but I just think that a specialist striker coach should be as important as a goalkeeper coach, in my opinion. Because if you're going to score goals, scoring goals, Mark, is an art to the game, just like goalkeeping, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to say, do we think quick straw poll? Do we think Hogan will be here come August?
Is his contract up?
That's something I'm thinking.
I don't think his is. I think his is another year. I can't imagine him leaving. I can't imagine him leaving. I just think he's just really lacking confidence, and I think, would you have Sam Cosgrove back with Yuki there, or is
I don't think it would, to be honest.
I don't know.
Is
Hogan
still our top scorer?
Yeah, with 10.
Yeah.
I think if you took them goals away from us, we'd probably be in the bottom three, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So I will put some respect on him. I mean, his hat-trick at the Baggies, and he has had a half-decent season. It's just like since the World Cup. I mean, I'll put it on Bielik's name as well, since the World Cup. And Bielik, he's coming back to form now, which is great to see. But we have had a few players that have just not performed since the World Cup for whatever reason, and half of them didn't even go to the World Cup, so I don't really know why. I thought the World Cup for our squad was a good thing, because we'd have had a little rest for a month and come back fresh and at it again, and I thought that little break for them would have done them good, but it was the opposite, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Complete opposite. I mean, to be fair, even if Hogan doesn't score again, he's still technically in double figures. Where we are at the moment, if you got striker in double figures, it's been a decent season. It's not
I have the greatest respect for Djukovic, Hogan, and Deeney. The only thing I can say is that they had the ages up, and we're past 100 with the three of them, and we cannot expect another season of any quality out of those three guys, because they're too old. We could perhaps get away with one of them in, alongside a young, up and coming, bloke. This bloke at Peterborough. How did Peterborough keep finding blokes that get 20 goals a season? You've never heard of them. Barry Fry comes along and flogs them off. And he tried to flog Tony to us, and we wouldn't have it. Yeah. The bloke's in the England side now. Now this guy, 21. I never heard Clark Harris. His name is. Where's he from? Yep. 21 goals and I saw his goal on Saturday. Fantastic. And we're going for a guy. I heard mention we're going for a guy from Hearts. Right now, without being, I have to be careful when I say it. But the Watford side, I'm sitting there thinking, look at this team that they've got. They've got 8 powerful, strong black players who make our team look like old men and boys. Yeah. Where do they find them? Now I sat with
Belonga was free.
Yeah.
He always scores against us.
Yeah, he's always scoring against us.
Yeah.
And we haven't got that. We haven't got that powerful, somebody who's going to have a battle on their hands all game, because this bloke is big, an Adebola, Paul Furlong. I'm not just picking because I'm black, because they were powerful and strong and quick, and we haven't got that. We haven't got that.
We seem to not go for like League 1 or 2. We don't seem to take a chance on somebody. We seem to go up to Scotland, which, no offence to Scottish football, but it's not the greatest, is it really?
Huh?
No.
I mean, Sam Cosgrove proved that. Okay, he's doing well in League One, but why don't we find these? I find that at the moment we've got a lot of high 30s, and then we then got kids. We haven't really got like 25, 26, 27, 28, where actually they're in the peak of their career. You know,
Yeah.
we haven't got that.
Spot on. Spot on.
That we
There's,
seem
there's
to
no in between.
old. and got in
Going
the
back,
middle.
sorry, Claire. Going back further, I mean,
Yeah.
I would rather take a punt on a League One player than a Scottish Premier League player.
Yeah.
And I'll give
There
you
you
an
go.
example. I mean, for example, you know, we've signed Greg Stewart from Scotland. We've signed Andy Shinney. We've signed,
Right,
like you
say
said,
that, yeah.
and I'd rather have a DJ Campbell from League One or
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Good
somebody
point.
like-
Sal.
Good point, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some very good examples of that.
So you know, yeah. I mean, in my opinion, DJ Campbell was better than all them three put together.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Let's be honest. Greg Stewart was appalling.
yeah.
Mm.
But, you know,
Shinney was average. You know.
it's a massive. There's a massive golfing class between League One and the Championship, but you've got more chance of it working out from League One than the Scottish Premier League, in my opinion. You know, don't get me wrong. There has been some good players in Scotland. I mean, we've had the likes of Ferguson, Burke, Caddis, and you know all these players started in Scotland, but you know they went on to other clubs first, didn't they? Before we got them, and they were proven at this level. That you know, you had Burke from Cardiff and Ferguson from Blackburn, and you know, obviously that they'd proven themselves in the English game before they came to us. And obviously we got them later in their careers. But if you're going to take a punt on a 21-year-old now, I'd rather do it from League One definitely than the Scottish Premier League.
Or even like the
Nigel
academies,
Manners.
you
Go on,
know.
Claire, sorry.
You know, like even the Premier League academies, everyone seems to take ours. So isn't there somebody that sat there going, you know, I'm not getting a chance. Why can't we try with? Do you mean you're going to get them for cheap?
Yeah.
You know, you got to try and take people from others. We just don't seem to do
You
that.
don't seem to.
I
No,
mean, we've took Hannibal, haven't we? And you know, other Longhello. You know, all these kids have come from the Prem. Obviously, you know the under 23s in the Premier League, and also some of them obviously first team squads. But yeah, I just think we're crying out, aren't we, for a new sort of signing up front that's going to come in and excel, be a breath of fresh air in the team. That's what we need. Somebody who's going to come in, maybe get 15 goals in his first season, and then kick on from there. You know, that's what we want. Yeah. Somebody with a pace up there that can finish. We haven't had one since Shay Adams, have we? Really?
No.
Not really. No. I mean, look at Jamie Vardy. I mean, he rose to the rank. You know, he's right at home in the Prem. We haven't our scouting there. We didn't need to find anyone like that.
But Shay Adams is another example. We signed him from League One of Sheffield United.
Yeah.
You know, another great example from League One because he hadn't played in the Championship before we signed him, had he?
No.
So, you know, these young kids, there's got to be somebody down there that's doing well in League One or League Two that's worth a shot. To see what, we have had some that haven't, but we have had the odd one that hasn't worked out, like Matt Green and you know Wes Thomas, like that. Isaac Vassell. But you know, overall, I don't think we've done too bad. I mean, even Steve Claridge, going back even further, was from the lower leagues, wasn't he? From we signed him from Cambridge, didn't we?
Cambridge,
yeah. So there is players out there, I'm sure that, and also naturally, when you play, the better players you play with, you know, the better you play yourself.
Raise your game,
and the better coaches you work with, obviously, the more they improve your game as well. So it's definitely worth a shot, in my opinion. That is in the summer if we can.
Craig,
worth seeing what this new recruitment team as well can do. You know, we've been very, very, very reliant. It's like solely reliant on Gardner over the past couple of seasons, and you know, I won't knock him for the people that he's brought through the door because arguably we have got better each time with his signings. But this new recruitment team, hopefully, they're spotting these youngsters. I think they've got that background actually of bringing the young kids through and giving them the opportunities that are actually there. And you know, just looking at the shape box, everybody's saying the same thing, that we just need somebody that's going to give us that spark, that's kind of, I don't care, I'm going to be there to poke it in every 5 minutes. I mean, I watched the two games over the past week, and I've watched Haaland. And the one thing about Haaland was he has been, similar to what you said about Che Adams, he was coached into the positions, to being available to score the goals. And arguably, Haaland's goals are there because he is a poacher. He comes out with a spectacular every so often. But the rest of them, he's just, they say he's in the right position at the right time. No, he's coached into that to make sure it's going to rebound, it's going to hit your foot, and that's what we are sadly missing. And I'd love to see some kids coming in and then bring in, the likes of, I'd love to see Kevin Phillips. I want to see him back at his club. I'd love to see Robbo back from a defensive point of view as well, to give us that spine of ex-players that knew what the club was also all about, because we've got Mike Taylor there now, and yes, he does a great job with the goalkeeping side of things, but there's nobody else there that's really knows Birmingham City as Birmingham City.
We've got Daesh, haven't we, Craig?
Yeah.
We've got Liam Daesh.
With the kids,
It's more with the kids, though, isn't it? I mean, I'm on about more of the
I know what you mean. More first team setup. Yeah, I get it.
We sadly lack that person that's not afraid to tell them as it is, as a fan, as an ex-player, this is what it means to the fans. And Daesh for me is a great example. If it was me, I'd actually bring him up potentially back into the first team fold, because God, I wouldn't want to be in a dressing room if we'd been playing poorly and he was in there.
No, I would.
He'd just tell him as it is. I actually believe that Eustace does that in the dressing room, and I'm yet to hear somebody say the reverse of that. But I'd like to, I think I'd like to build on what we've got now. Hopefully, what the points we've got are enough. I never say that I don't look over my shoulder, because as a Birmingham fan, that's all we've done over the past few seasons. Yeah. But actually, it'd be nice to go into the last 4 or 5 games knowing that the pressure was off, an opportunity for Eustace to look at his squad, establish what he needs, and actually try and get the wheels in motion if we can. And also, who knows, this investment into the club, now that we're arguably safe, may progress a little bit faster. Have people been waiting until they knew what was going on? We wait and see, but I think the good times are hopefully going to return. Not immediately, but they're going to come back.
Would you would you play some of the I think, would you not play the lone players and just try and play some more of the kids that could be coming through in the last 4 or 5 games?
Yeah, just to put in there, it's been mentioned on YouTube a few posts regarding when are we going to give the kids a good run. Get the kids more involved, save getting players in. Yeah. They end up no good, says Lee Harvey. Yeah.
I'd bleed them. Like Claire just said, I'd bleed them slowly. Get some sub minutes here and there, and get me in and around the squad, even if they don't play, just to learn. And why not? A few games time. Just give them a chance, give them a few starts, or give them a good half an hour. We've got nothing to lose really once we. I think we're virtually safe as it is.
Mathematically,
why not?
But yeah.
Alfie Chang's a great example of that. We've given him his opportunity. And I think we've actually probably looked more sure in midfield when he's been playing than for the past few games. And it's that opportunity. George Hall, when he came on, you could see that he had that drive. And I know he's rapid anyhow, but it's still got that little bit of edge about him that he's not ready for 90 minutes. But do you know what? Give him half an hour, build his confidence, bring him back through. The pre-season's a great time to do that, isn't it? That's when you bed, or end of the season, pre-season. There's your time to bed the youngsters.
Confidence, isn't it?
See what they're worth, yeah.
I just hope, sorry, Mark, I just hope now that we stick with the same person, give John Eustace a few seasons. Because just, getting rid of the manager every summer and 8 players go out, 8 players come in, and it's just like Groundhog Day every single sort of, June and July when they come back from pre-season. It's a whole new squad again. And I just think if we're going to go forward and try and finish above 19th for a change, we need to do something a little bit different than what we've been doing in recent years. And in my opinion, we need to give John Eustace a fair crack of the whip now. Give him a few windows and give him a good run as the manager of the club. I'd love to see him stay 5 years plus if he's going to be good enough overall to take us forward eventually, hopefully. And top end
Sorry for jumping in, Paul.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I was chatting to some of the lads at work who went to watch Coventry at the Blackpool, and they were on about Mark Robbins, and he's a really good blueprint.
Yeah.
Eustace could follow in the same footsteps. Not a massive budget, brought a lot of kids in at Coventry, and they're absolutely flying.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Why not? Why can't Eustace do the same sort of thing?
Exactly. Yeah. He's still learning himself, though, isn't he? He's fairly young, and he's obviously only managed academies to Harriers before he's come to us. And I know he's had a manager's role in the Championship, but when we look good under this guy. We really do. But when we look bad, there's no in between, really. We're either really good or really bad. Most of the time when we're really bad, he's playing that dreaded back five. Comes away from that and sticks to a back four and plays players to their strengths and has a little bit of luck with injuries as well. Because I will say that we have had a bad run with injuries as well and suspensions and stuff like that. And I think this back four as well, for me, the only sort of downside is that Austin Trusty is a better centre half than a left back, but I think
I'd play him a left back. I think he is good at left back.
I'm not saying he's not a good left back, but he's a better half than him.
Oh yeah, definitely. But then you've got the options then. I mean, Wolves are saying Sanderson's available. I would snap him up straight away. Trusty, I would buy him as well. I don't think we'll get Hannibal. I think Hannibal will go to France because Marseille want him. But at least it's the back line is where we need. Dean's going to go. Long. Is he
maybe
going
Robert.
to stay? Would you give him a year deal? At least then the back line, you're kind of thinking, okay, we're not too bad in that area. Let's sort other places out.
Yeah. I'd give Dean another 2-year contract. If he'll drop his salary, I'd give him another 2 years.
Yeah, I would.
I think Long is getting better by the game, though. Every time he plays, he has a better game. That's what he played.
He's getting his fitness back, isn't he, Paul?
Well, he's played, was it sort of like 28 times in 13 years or something?
Yeah, something stupid. Yeah. So he's
end up doing that here in about 9 months, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
How old is Harley Dean? Is he?
Say again?
Harley Dean?
28, 29, isn't he?
Harley Dean's about 32 now, isn't he?
31, I think.
How old are you, Claire?
Can I hold up a cat?
No, it was nice to. It was nice to win in the capital, wasn't it? It always is when we go down there.
Yeah.
Always nice.
The atmosphere was brilliant. I've got to admit, the atmosphere was great.
Yeah,
good. And Watford, to be fair, we did well at Watford to take them out on a Tuesday.
Oh, good,
It was all right, yeah.
I think we've seen the stats. Aren't we in the top 6
top
in
5,
the league?
I think it was top 5.
We're 5th, I think.
It's the top 5 now for
top
away
5.
following.
Yeah,
and look at us. We've been arguably bottom half playing really poor football, and we're still got that following that comes through.
Considering where we are, Craig, it's absolutely incredible.
Can I just say, sorry, Chris, I know it's nothing really sort of relevant, but I was watching the FA Cup games yesterday and watching I know Grimsby got thrashed, but seeing their fans bouncing up and down, thinking if we had the slightest taste of success again, we'd easily do that at most away games.
We're doing it now, aren't we?
We're doing it now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Do you imagine, if we went on a cup run, a massive cup run like that?
Yeah.
And
what drives me up the wall, and I'll be honest, is where Brentford are. It's only like 5 years ago. It's only 5 years ago that we signed their best 3 players.
Yeah.
They must be laughing at us where we are and where they are.
Yeah.
And it's only because they're run properly. They've got a really good manager. And obviously the best thing that probably ever happened to them was Dean Smith leaving, wasn't it? And dare I say it, obviously Hotter, Colin and Dean coming to us. I just don't know where they get their players from. Their recruitment is incredible. It really is.
Incredible.
On my way to Loftus Road on Saturday from my son's house, we went past Brentford, and the time was 1:15 when the bus went past Brentford's ground. And I said to my son, what time are these kicking off? Because there were so many people there. I thought, well, it must be a 1 o'clock, 1:30 kick. But the place was crawling with people. There was still 2 hours to go before the kick off. And I thought, and funny enough, coming back from the game, there was a gang of QPR supporters and this chap was a Brentford supporter. And they'd arguing with each other. And the Brentford supporter says to these kids, well, you couldn't even beat Birmingham.
Yeah, Birmingham,
You
yeah.
cheeky. I thought, well, I don't want to get involved. But I thought, we've only lost at your place once in 70 years. So don't knock these geezers because they've lost to us today.
It was awful when we did lose, though.
Well, it was.
the worst
But-
performance I've probably ever seen.
It's the mentality, isn't it?
5-0.
This bloke is
5-6-0.
sitting on the top of a bus. He's a Premier League football supporter. And everybody else, can go and fly the kites. And I'm thinking, 2 seasons you were... Didn't we win our last? Well, we always win at Brentford, apart from once. We went there when they got promoted, and we drew 0-0. And the year before, the last time on their ground, we beat them with a great
1-0
header from Pedersen and all that. And they're swanning around like they're King Kong.
To be honest,
that much difference between going that way and going that way, isn't there?
I was going to say, sorry, Al, I was going to say a lot of bad blood stretches back to 95, doesn't it, with the Barry Fry? They've never liked us after that, have they?
Well, we had
Tipping them to the league and all that.
Yeah, we had a Granger off them as well, didn't we? And
exactly.
Granger, yeah.
Always been bad blood to them.
We've had loads of their players off them over the years, haven't we? Nicky Forster, DJ Campbell,
Yeah.
You can go back years. But yeah, I think, seeing the likes of even Brighton where they are as well, and these clubs ain't as big as us. They ain't got the fan base we have.
No.
It's just that they've struck gold with their owner and they're being run properly and they're doing the right things on and off the field, and
Brighton are the team that you need to watch because they seem to get all these random players in, sell them for massive profit, then they're just doing constantly, so they run well.
Are
they worth 50 million? No, because they're not even getting in the teams that they're that they brought in.
Exactly, yeah. And then they let Potter go to Chelsea, and I'm expecting him to slide down the table. They're getting this other guy. He's even better than Potter.
Even better than Potter.
Yeah.
And Potter's having a right nightmare, isn't he?
He is.
I hope he gets it right though. If he's given time, I'd like to. But yeah, I mean, it's all there for a new owner to come in. You don't necessarily need 1.5 billion to spend on the team to get to where Brighton are. They're the proof that you don't, and also Brentford as well. I'll put and even Fulham. I know Fulham has spent more than Brighton and Fulham, but you don't need a sugar daddy to run your club to be successful. I don't think to do one league, and there's clubs there that are proving that at the moment.
Confidence is a big thing, I think.
Sorry, Chris.
Confidence is a big thing, I think.
Massive,
Massive.
And consistency as well.
Just quickly going back to the fans, a massive 1,400 so far going to Sunderland.
Amazing,
that's incredible. Considering where we are, that's
horrible journey, and 1,400 plus fans going up there is just immense. I did see a comment earlier on actually that was saying that it would have been good if the club had done something in and around either reduced or free travel for those people going up. And whilst I couldn't agree more, I think it's that cost of that funding, unfortunately, that would stop us from doing it. But I mean, it's just brilliant. All these people going up, and I think the amount of people that travel on the coach, the experience that you have on the coach, not like players' experience on Saturday with 4 hours to get to London, but just to think actually, we could have got to Sunderland in that time.
Don't forget.
I didn't even get a break. I went in a McDonald's. Couldn't even get McDonald's on the way.
I nearly got to New York in that time, Claire.
I know, you broke my heart. What I wanted was a McDonald's on the way. Then I had to stay 4.5 hours.
Started selling gin then? I didn't know they started selling gin.
When I used to go from Birmingham to QPR, it was almost like a local game. You'd leave, especially a midweek game, you'd leave QPR Birmingham at 4:30. You'd be there an hour and a half before the kickoff, and you'd be home by 10 o'clock. 11, 12 o'clock. But there was a train strike on Saturday, and I had to go the day before and stop at my son's and then come back on the train the day after. Okay. And that bus ride from where my son lives took nearly as long as your coach ride did to get from Birmingham, because the traffic was ridiculous and everybody was on the bus. So it was unusual. But it would have been easy to throw your hands in the air. So I ain't gonna bother. No trains, too much traffic. I'm not going to bother. But I couldn't get a seat. I couldn't get a seat in there. I had to sit with the QPR supporters, which was fun because they were really pissed off. I cannot tell you how pissed off they were. But that's another story. But looking at and it's full. Absolutely chocker that end, and we haven't been allowed to do that for a long time.
No, we had up
normally the police say, you can only have half of it because this, that, and the other. But it was terrific.
And once again, the stewarding was criticised as well, I believe.
They were very full on. I mean, the ones by us, they were very full on. The stewards, very annoyed. But Nick would have been really disappointed with the pie.
Oh no!
They were lukewarm pies.
Oh no!
I'm going to be the pie person. I'm going to say Piegate because I had to complain it was not enough. And I thought of Nick when I did it. I was like, here we go.
They had some at QPR. They didn't have any at Wigan. Come on.
Yeah.
No pies at Wigan.
I've just been.
And they're sponsored by a pie company.
I've just been informed. Sunderland pucker pies. There you go, Nick.
Yeah.
Do they have any street food, Claire?
No street food.
No street food.
Nothing.
It was all literally. It was like I went back about 40 years. It was the worst one was Watford. Now Watford, you can't even move, and there was problems with Watford because people wanted to leave because we were so bad. They wouldn't let people leave, so they argued with the stewards. Like people were going, "Can we please go? Because we're playing really badly and it's rubbish. I'd rather watch it in the pub." Because they don't do alcohol at Watford in the away end. So people were trying to leave, but the stewards wouldn't let them leave. Which is just ironic, really.
You've got to stay.
How often, though, this season have we backed up a good win with another win? Have we won back-to-back games yet this season?
What do we've done at the start?
I think.
Albion.
Whoever we beat the week after Swansea. Albion.
Okay.
Albion.
Oh, yeah.
Albion. That was a two-food job.
We just need to, whenever we, I think for me, the most frustrating, since I've last been on the show, the most frustrated I've been was after we beat the Baggies. We're absolutely amazing on that Friday night against the Baggies. Go and lose at home to bloody Cardiff on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
We couldn't back up that, and we go back to consistency and confidence. And I don't even think that, did he change the team much after that? I don't think he did, really.
No,
I think
he changed. He certainly changed the attitude because we just stood and looked at Cardiff all night.
I know.
Against the Albion, we didn't never gave them a moments to breathe. And Cardiff, we didn't do it.
It was hard to believe it was the same players on the pitch.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, that's my only.
Which is what frustrates me about Watford. Why didn't we play like we did against Rotherham?
Yeah.
Get at them. Okay, they break on us and score. Fine.
Yeah.
We just,
I'd rather lose.
We just invited them in.
Yeah, I'd rather lose trying to win than lose trying not to lose.
Yeah.
I think the thing is that playing 5-3-2, so many managers have tried it. It just doesn't work, and I don't understand where the logic is at the moment with it. Whenever we play 4-2-3-1 or 4 and a diamond, we always seem to play better, and then we go to a back 5, and it just puts worry into everybody, and you can see them just getting worried, and it just sucks the pressure on. Like Watford, they absolutely just cut through us, and we were all going, go to 4. And then as soon as he went, he must have had a go at them at half time because the second half was like they finally woke up. But against QPR, when we play football, we actually look quite good.
Yeah, I think
it wasn't.
I'll go back like the last sort of 11 years now in this league, and the 3 best seasons were under Houghton. Obviously Rowett had a few good years as well. That was a decent few years under Rowett, and then Gary Monk as well. And not once in any of those 3 or 4 seasons or 5 seasons, I think Rowett was here for 3 seasons, when he was 2.5. And not once did either of them 3 coaches play 5 at the back.
No, just
not
doesn't suit us.
In games. Yeah.
It's just your heart you see the 5 and your heart just sinks.
Yeah,
there's no enthusiasm.
No. We've had the odd decent result with it, but overall, there's just no consistency with it, and it just doesn't suit us, does it?
No, not at all.
I mean,
We
I
haven't
hate
got the players. We haven't got
No.
the players to play it. We just don't have, and then you end up playing Graham at left wing back. And that's not his position. When we played Swansea and people like that, he was good. But I just think it's just got to be 4 from now on. Just keep it consistent. Keep it that everybody knows when they come on that pitch, they know what they've got to do. They know how to play it. They know the system. Because when we had Rowett, Monk, these people, they knew as soon as they came into that team, you were like, right, he's swapping with him because that's his position.
Yeah.
Eustace, you don't know what's coming up. We're like, is it going to be 3-5-2, 5-3-2, 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1? It needs to be more consistent, and I think then we would get results.
You can go back to England as well. You're an England fan as well, Claire, yeah?
Yeah.
So you go back to obviously Southgate playing 5 at the back, and he's changed it in the World Cup to 4-3-3, and it suited us so much better. Didn't it? We played loads better.
Yeah.
There's no way we'd beat, even against Iran. There's no way we'd have beat Iran 6. If we'd have been playing 5 at the back. Wales.
It's too negative. If you play 5, at the back, you're more or less admitting that the other team are better than you.
Especially when you're doing it with 2 defensive midfielders as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Jason Hughes has said, do you think we could raise enough funds to have a 40-foot flag with 4-4-2 written on it and put it behind the goal?
Yeah, I would do that. I'd buy one of those because I say
that'd be hilarious.
It's driving me mad.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to think that now, for the rest of the season, he won't do it again. But you never know. In one of these away games, he might just do it again to try and protect. I don't know why he'd do it. I can't think of a reason why, but I think he probably wouldn't surprise.
It's got to affect the players being, this inconsistency, hasn't it? It's got to.
Yeah. Yeah. But
confidence breeds confidence.
Too good to do it. You're giving people far too much respect if you're going 5-3-2. You go in there defensively, negatively. You go at them. There's, apart from like Burnley, for example, and people like that, we shouldn't be respecting anyone. We should just be going for it. I'd rather lose 3 or 4-0 going for it and going actually doing what we played all right than just sitting back. Like Swansea, we sat back so much. Watford, we sat back so much. And then when we actually went at them, we matched them and more.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think we've definitely got a good squad of players there, and there's no reason why we can't enjoy a decent run between now and the end of the season. Is it about 12 games to go now?
8 games, yeah.
4 home, 4 away.
Yeah,
not many at all.
It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Scary, really.
I didn't realise there was that played. So 8 games to go. Then let's challenge ourselves. If I was Eustace now, I'd be challenging them to try and, put a run together, try and win as many of those 8 games now as we can. And when Bowyer first came in, he won 5, didn't he? At the last 8 when he first came. So let's go for something like that again. That'd be nice, and try and finish about 14th.
We don't want to finish.
They've got to attack us as well, because I look at Reading, for example. If they do get those 6 points deducted, then I think they go 4th from bottom and only 2 points ahead. I think if the league worked out the right way, so they've got to come at us when we play them. And I think actually when teams attack us, we probably play our best football because we set up Saturday counter-attacking, and that goal was just super. That was, for me, the best piece of counter-attacking football I've seen all season. Yeah. The way we took it forward and just kept going on the run. It'd be nice to see that continue.
Yeah. I think the best, for me though, just playing devil's advocate a bit there, Craig, the best counter-attack goal of the season for me was Hogan's second at the Baggies.
Oh, Hogan's second,
That was a top 6 finish. That was,
that pass from Bakuna, been like, if someone like Kevin De Bruyne would have done that, it'd have been replayed on Match of the Day every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Even with and without commentary.
Do we think the playoffs have gone?
Oh God! Don't talk about them again.
Just a tad.
Riley. Let's just finish above 18th for once.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming from mid-table Mark, that's a smart.
Mid-table Mark.
He's setting up his mid-table end of season party, aren't you, Mark? 14.
I've got a special jumper.
Everybody
Mid-table
come round.
Going back to obviously what we've got now as it is, and that's the only way we can sort of speculate. How many of these players are we going to have next season that we've got now? And what kind of team? And what kind of team can we put out now with players that are just ours that are not on loan,
or players that we think will be there next season?
Well, even now,
we only got 12 if we get rid of everyone. Isn't it like right? A really 12, 13, 14, if that?
How many loaners did we have in the starting lineup Saturday? Not many.
Kadra, Hannibal didn't start.
Trusty.
Hannibal didn't start?
No, he didn't start, no.
Just about 3, I think.
Okay.
Trusty.
Which is good.
Billy, yeah.
Obviously, Ruddy's got another year. Trusty won't be here. Long won't be here. Billick won't be here. Kadra, Hannibal. I'm trying to think who else.
I think
that's
Long
about 8 or 9. Dean's obviously wasn't in.
I think Long will be here next season, Claire.
I would sign him. He's got better. I mean, when he first came, I was like, oh dear, what's going on? But he's just a typical old school, get it out. He doesn't he will just kick it out, which is fine by me. Do you know what? Just get rid of it. I never thought I'd ever say Long and Roberts played really, really well. I never thought that would even be in a sentence together. But because they played for the back, I mean, they put head on it, they put their foot through it. And sometimes you just need to go back to old school defending. And I think we did.
Yeah. And I think, he took his goal well as well against Rotherham, didn't he, Long? The way he chested him.
Well, he scored. He's chipped in with a couple of goals, hasn't he? You know, the FA Cup goal and that one. So it's nice. It's nice. South Central.
I think, or maybe I hope, that the only one of the loan players that we've got now who won't play next year is Hannibal. I think all the others will get.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
I do. Yeah.
Depends how much they are.
We need about
goes in for them.
They will need at least 10 million to sign them all, won't we?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'd have Kadra in a heartbeat. He would be one.
I'd have
Kadra and Trusty would be my top 2.
Yeah.
Sanderson,
I think will have.
Sanderson could be a done deal. I think we've probably already had the discussions and know what it's going to take, but he's already been told by Wolves, hasn't he? You're free to go. So it's now about us being able to give him a package that it's not going to match every single team that comes in, but it's got to be about a package that's financially beneficial, but also we're given the opportunity to play. You know, there'll be plenty of Premier League sides, bottom half, and probably those get to be promoted. They'll be looking at him thinking, yeah, he could do a job. If he ain't going to play, is he going to go? So, and his age, he wants to be playing.
My only worry with Sanderson is he's a bit injury prone, isn't he? I mean, we've had him on and on both occasions he's got like long-term injuries.
Yeah, just about to say that.
Paul, he was on about, there's only 8 games left. Let's go for as many points as we can. We've still got this points deduction hanging over us, so maybe that's what we've got to do. Of course we have, yeah.
I don't think we've got points deduction, have we?
Well, it's still hanging over us, isn't it, at the end of the season?
Well, we don't know what's coming, do we?
We don't know what's coming. We still don't know. We still don't know what's coming.
If they were going to deduct points, they'd have done it by now, wouldn't they? They wouldn't deduct just after the season's finished and say, "Oh, you finished 14th. Here's 10-point deduction. You're down." They wouldn't do that to us, would they? They'd say
it's the EFL, and we are Birmingham City.
We could start with it. That's the problem.
Well,
let's start next season. We don't want that.
Yeah.
No, we don't want that either.
No.
I don't think we'll get a points deduction.
I don't think so.
Think it'd be a slap.
I think they might be holding on to see if this takeover can happen, and if the whole thing happens, I'm not going to say it's going to miraculously disappear, but the slap across the wrist will happen at that point in time, because it keeps the EFL clean of anything that might come back. Because I still think any points deduction, and we'll argue it, and I think we're not going to sit there and take it if they've been involved and ultimately haven't followed up on what has been passed to them in the past. You couldn't do it. You know, it's like digging themselves a grave, wouldn't they? But hopefully, I'm not proven wrong. But I just believe it'll go away at some point in time.
If we just go like that, stick our fingers in our ears and go, no.
Then it's not there, yeah.
Go away. It's not there, yeah.
Jeremy Dale,
sometimes you've got to do that.
Yeah, Craig, this Jeremy Dale consortium is more of a takeover, isn't it, than an investment as well? So he's got his consortium together, and he's trying to actually take the club over, isn't he? And do the whole thing, and that certainly won't happen overnight. That'll probably take a few years, won't it?
Well, I mean, what I'm hearing, and it is all hearsay at this present moment, but what I'm hearing is that he is not just in it for the sake of the investment. He wants the club. He's got people at the moment that are waiting in the wings to come in with him to support it. That funds would be available, but then it goes back again. So you can put as much funds into the club as possible, but we can't sign the players because we're not bringing in the income. So there's still that to get over. But yeah, I think he's a genuine guy. This one has been very, very quiet. You know, we've not had the press announcements on the car park. We've not had people standing there with, I know it's out of the window anyhow, but we haven't had people going, oh, we're going to sign these players, we're going to get this person in, this person. I think he'll do a really good job, and I really do believe, as a Birmingham fan, that he's got the club at heart.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing we've got to look at. And Chris, while we'll talk about fans and clubs at heart, it's probably just a time at the moment to shout out a message that we had from one of our listeners, Simon Ford.
Sophie. Maybe you could elaborate on that, because you know the story.
May or may not have seen, especially across the press across the weekend, that unfortunately young 15-year-old girl was sadly killed in an accident. Now, the young lady, which is what she was, called Sophie, and she was a massive Birmingham fan, coming down to the games with her uncle, as I mentioned, Simon Ford. Now, as you can imagine, for no age, first of all, and the family are absolutely broken by what's happened. But as a way of remembering Sophie, the family are asking that at the next home game, that on the 15th minute there's a round of applause and her picture to appear on the big screen, because it's a fan that have lost, and it's a way that as us fellow supporters can say, I just can't imagine being in that situation, and we just want to be there to show support. So, condolences to all of Sophie's family and friends. As supporters, we just want to show, the love that's there. So on the 15th minute of the next game, please, and we'll get some notes out or close to it, but 1 minute's applause to say, rest in peace.
But that sadly happened 2 minutes from my house. And Sophie went to the same school as my daughter, Sophie, 3 years above her. So, it's just so tragic. And they were laying flowers outside the school this evening as well. Kids were coming home and stuff. So, it's just heartbreaking, isn't it, really?
Isn't it?
Well, we'll have a double one, won't we? Because we'll probably do something for Gaz as well.
Yeah,
Blue Noses in one in a not very short amount of time.
And obviously in recent days as well, we've lost Paul Mitchell as well, haven't we? Obviously, who made that one mistake in his life, but I don't think that defines him all overall. He was a Blues fan as well, like the rest of us, and I think he deserves a mention as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Craig, it might be a good idea to. I don't know where the time's going. It's crazy. We've still got
flying by.
Maybe we need to mention our.
Going quicker now, I'm back.
It does. We've got our Tilton Talk charity drive as well, Craig, haven't we? Coming up, and
we have. We've got. So there's a football card being run It's £2 to go. All funds that are raised will go to Help Harry, Help Others, which again another close charity to especially myself at the moment. But prize is fantastic, and I'm just going to make this nice and loud and clear so that most people understand, Paul. But it's
Seriously, Mark.
there are 4 tickets for the Birmingham ladies game on the 2nd of April at St Andrews up for grabs. But also, as an addition to that, our friend Craig Gill has very kindly arranged for one child to be a mascot, basically, and will walk out with one of the players at the game and onto the pitch before the game. So if people are interested in that, as mentioned, the teams are £2 each. Make payments via PayPal or bank transfer where needed. Give me a shout and I can arrange details. Draw, all going to plan, will be a week today so that everybody's got advance notice of what's going on. So again, all funds going to help Harry, help others. So much appreciated of anybody's support.
Brilliant. Just while we're on the ladies' game as well, Craig. Sorry, just while we're on the ladies' game, Craig wants to know regarding the refereeing standards. I didn't watch the game, but was it
shocking? I mean, I went with my little sister, and it was never a penalty in a million years.
No.
How we did not win, we hit the bar, woodwork and everything 4 times. They had literally, the penalty, and they scored from a corner. They didn't really do anything else the whole game. We were all over them. It's such a shame because, especially with the teams that have gone through, it would have been a brilliant semi-finals. Like, you would have had some, if we had got drawn at home, we would have really, really had, because obviously the team down the road have turned up. I think Chelsea are in there, and is it Man United or something like that? So we could have had a massive draw, unfortunately, but we were all over them. Hit the woodwork, as I said. It's just such a shame. It's just that lack of quality. Like, you could just tell that they were slightly higher than us. But
the standard of refereeing, though, anyway, Stephen's blog will be out actually tomorrow, just on that, and there's quite a bit where he's talked about the standard of officiating, and it's worth noting that in the Women's Super League, I believe that all the referees and lines people are actually lines people politically correct?
Assistant referees.
You got the brief before the show.
They've got to get it in there. They were all
well done, Bab.
They're professional and they're paid. Whereas when you come down to the Championship, these are all people that, at the end of the day, it's like a little second job for them, and it's all part time. People get travel expenses, but they might not get paid for some of them. So, I think it's as Stephen said, the officiating needs to get better. They need to be employed. They need to be full time, and then perhaps that league it can expand and get bigger as well. I think we are mathematically still possible for promotion, but I don't think it's going to happen this season. So I think we'll see Birmingham in the Championship again next season. But do you know what? We've learnt a lot this year, and some of the football that I've seen them play has been absolutely superb and heads and tails above what was there the season before this one. So
it's got to be hard to see to watch the rise of those over the other side, isn't it?
Yeah, it's horrible.
All our players,
Look where
all our
they
players
were.
took the manager as well, and that's
They've
the other thing.
They've signed Nobbs and Daly, who are like England internationals.
Yeah,
it just broke my heart because I was like, could go to any club in the world, and they went to there, and you can just see the difference.
There was no excuse for yesterday's referee to be anything other than the top rate because it was a quarter final of the FA Cup, so it should have been. Lewis down here played Manchester United yesterday, and they lost 3-1 in the end. We went to Lewis. month ago and just walked all over them. I mean, it was like not men against boys, but you know what I mean. And it was so disappointing that we didn't get, we didn't get through yesterday because we'd already beaten them in the other cup. And I know the Brighton team ain't brilliant, but when I saw that they were going crazy around here because Lewis had managed to hold Manchester United to only 3-1, where we'd slaughtered them 4-0. So it's a bit of a kick in the teeth, to be honest.
Do we think money talks? Do we think money's starting to talk too much in women's football?
Well, it's absolutely. I mean, to be fair, when we were one of the top sides, it was because, ironically, Carson Young, he put money into the women's team, and we had international players, and we won FA Cups, and we got to the semi-final of the Champions League, etc., etc. And when he went, so did the money, and that was the end of it. And sorry,
when you've got like some of the girls footballers now going for 500,000, which was not even seen, like when obviously about 10 years ago when I used to watch, like, Karen Carney and people like that, they were going to where their job was. So like a Luco, for example, was a lawyer or solicitor, and she moved to London. That's why she played for like Chelsea and people like that. So I think it is starting to talk in the women's game. I really do. I just think, I mean, Craig, do you know, are the women playing at St Andrews again next season? Or because there's been rumours of
I believe they're on the move. I believe they're on the move from next season.
Back to Solihull.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. But I think, in a way, I kind of like the idea of that, because I think there's nothing worse than going to St Andrews for a men's game, seeing it half empty, because there's nothing there. The ladies have increased their attendances across the season. Each time they've played, I think they've gone up in attendance. But still, if you've only got 1,000 people in that one stand, it's not enough. Whereas you put 1,000 people into Solihull Moors, and actually it's going to help create a little bit, I think, of an atmosphere, having people all around the ground as well, which they would no doubt do. And also it's a bit of a more compact stadium, so it just will, I think, overall help. I think there's still to be a formal announcement, but I do believe that will occur. Nice though, because Solihull Moors owner actually is a massive Blues fan, so he might be doing us a massive favour as well.
Sorry, Craig, I'll come in. Now, obviously, you guys that know me and our viewers that know my history on here, obviously, I've got my pet hates, and coming back onto officials, one of my biggest pet hates at the moment in football is when a player is obviously clearly offside. The linesman can see it, we can all see it, and he lets him run through, bust his whatsits to get to the ball, and then he puts the flag up literally 5 seconds later. And I just think that one day somebody's going to get seriously injured for no good reason.
It has happened. It has happened a couple of times.
Pickford and Van Dijk?
Not in big games, but it has happened where the goalkeeper's come out and took the bloke out, and then the flag's gone up.
Stop, holding the flag down and then putting it up and seeing the guy, waste energy for one, and also put himself at risk of getting injured. I just don't get that rule at all.
No.
I understand, like, if somebody else went for it, but when it's obvious that player's going to go for it and win it, I don't understand that rule either. It's just, and then you just go, well, he's about to put the flag up anyway.
Yeah. It's happened a couple of times down the Blues, hasn't it, this season? I mean,
VAR, isn't it, the main point? They do in the Premier League in case they're onside. But when it's so blatant and obvious, they should just put the flag up. But I do understand why, because sometimes, it might be split decision, and then, they go through and score.
Yeah.
But otherwise, when it's obvious, then no. I totally agree with that.
100%, yeah. And obviously,
just on officiating. On officiating as well, I know it's not Birmingham related, but I've got to say, Alan, I totally agree with your comments. I think the referee at Old Trafford yesterday was completely right in what he did.
You're spot on.
The encroachment of the manager towards the VAR screen, right? We don't know what else was said, but at the end of the day, something was said that resulted in him being sent off. The player stopped a goal-scoring opportunity, so he should have been sent off. And I'm sorry, I hope they throw the book
Absolutely.
Your striker, because okay, you're going to move off of the referee, you're going to get a yellow card, but as soon as you lay a hand on that in any other place, any other part of the world, is assault. So at the end of the day, you should have the book thrown at him. So that red card was right.
I would say one thing about the referee. He had a clear view of the handball.
Yep.
And did he think, I'm not sure, so I won't give it and wait for the VAR to get me out? Now, what he should have done, he should have given that. Handball, penalty, red card, clear off. Let's get on with the game. And VAR would have looked at it, as they did, and said, you got that spot on right, mate. And none of the other stuff would have happened. There'd have been no protest from the manager. You'd have had no nonsense from Mitrovic. We'd have just got on with the game. And we would still be talking about, well, Fulham blew it. But they'd only been playing with 10 men instead of 9. And that bothers me. I mean, he may have, in all honesty, not have been 100% sure. So he gave the corner and waited for the VAR.
Yeah.
But the position he was in, he should have given it. It was blatantly obvious that it was a foul, and nobody would have got upset then.
If I was a Fulham fan, I'd be fuming. You know, within a few seconds, your cup dreams are sort of over. Bit of a shame, and after 1975, but there you go.
I will say though, their manager afterwards and his interview, I think he needs to look at himself a little bit, because he just went on there and he was asked a question around what had happened, and he just skirted the whole thing. Yeah. Well, I want to know what he thought I'd said. Well, you obviously said something. Your player manhandled a referee. You should be saying that should never happen, and they should be not condoning what had happened. And the handball, it's the letter of the law.
Yeah, later.
Question. What's everyone's thoughts on the semi-finals being played at Wembley?
I don't agree with that.
Hate it.
I hate it. I want to go back to tradition. You know, Wembley is saturated now. It's lovely to get there, but it's not special as it used to be.
It's got to be special. It's got to be special.
It's got to be special.
It's not as though that we haven't got stadia in England and Wales.
Yeah. Big enough. Yeah.
Big enough to put a semi-final on. You'll get 75,000 at Old Trafford. You'll get 80,000 at Cardiff.
Arsenal ground.
Newcastle.
Massive place.
We'll have the new Everton ground as well soon.
Yeah. So, I just think it takes that shine away from the final, doesn't it, with the semi-final?
Absolutely.
Then, on the other hand, just flipping it round, I mean, I don't agree with it, but for like Sheffield United, will they ever get a semi-final in the FA Cup again? Is this their big day out?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I personally agree with you. I think it should just be there. And then what they should do is do the draw. So say, I don't know I can't remember who's playing who.
Man City and
northern teams, play them up north.
Yeah.
If they're southern teams, play them down south, or play them in the middle, nearby. But
play them both at the same stadium, just on separate days. It's
yeah.
You could use Old Trafford one year, move it to London the next, come to the Midlands afterwards. Give everybody a go at bringing in some additional revenue, because that's the other thing. It helps all around.
I think that's what it's all about at the moment, is the revenue. I think they've got to do another 15, 20 years before Wembley's paid for itself. That's the only reason they do the semi-finals.
I know it's the age-old question, but do you think in our lifetime we'll ever see Blues in the semi-final again of the FA Cup?
In our lifetime?
Maybe mine.
Maybe out.
How old are you, Claire?
How old are you again, Claire?
How old are we all? I can't remember.
Get down,
I'm 23 next month.
Paul, we've got a new game. We've got about 5 minutes to play it. Do you want to introduce it?
Yeah. Obviously, I can't come back on here without a new game, can I?
No. I've got it lined up.
And Mark Meredith, it's not bingo. I'm sorry, the game is not bingo.
So everybody's probably seen it anyway on various channels and pages and stuff. But basically, I just wanted to get everyone to have a go at basically start, sub, and sell. Okay, so I'm going to name 3 players, and you can start one, you got to sub one, and you're going to sell one. And in what order are you going to do that between Christophe Dugarry, Michael Forsell, and Kevin Phillips? So there's your 3 players. Start, sub, sell.
Come on then, guys. What would you go for?
I'd probably... Shall I start?
Go on then.
I mean, shall I start the game? Not me start. I'd start Forsell.
Yeah.
I'd have sub Dugarry, and I love Kevin Phillips, but I'd have to leave him out of the squad.
I would second that. That would be my suggestion as well.
I'm so torn between Dugarry and Forsell because Dugarry was just, when he first came on loan, he was, mind you, Forsell was magnificent as well, but Dugarry was just, wow, he was just on another planet.
Yeah.
It's so hard, isn't it?
But would you have him come on if you needed you needed some creativity, and Forsell would do most of the running?
You got Forsell to come on if you need a goal, though, ain't you?
I know, but Gary can bring you a goal, but Forsell's probably got more legs.
Yeah.
Of the three, and just talking about what they did for us, Kevin Phillips would of the 3 did more as a sub than any of the other 2. So he would be my automatic sub. And then we can argue about the other 2.
Pete Taylor, start Forsell, sub Dugarry, sell Phillips. Michael Wood, start Kevin Phillips, sub Forsell and sell Dugarry. Lily Pad, start Dugarry, sub Forsell and sell Phillips. Jason Hughes, start Forsell, sub Phillips, sell Dugarry.
I think I would, if it was me, I'd start Forsell, I'd have Phillips, and I would sell Dugarry. And I think the only reason was he was a truly fantastic player when he was on loan. Soon as he became permanent at the club,
he weren't the same.
Yeah.
And I think that to me is the difference between the others. You know, Phillips ran his backside off, and at times we saw him run until he couldn't run anymore. Forsell always popped up and was consistent. Arguably, in that season, our best player, apart from his injury, which, you know, without his injury, he'd have stayed at the club, I think, a little bit longer as well, and had more of an opportunity. So for me, Forsell, Phillips, sell Dugarry.
Yeah,
an interesting one. There is a few different opinions there.
There is, isn't there? Yeah.
Dugarry World Cup winner, different gravy. I agree with Richard Whitehouse there. He was different gravy.
He was.
Sell Dugarry for 100 million to get rid of the owners, says Paul Gill.
Can I just say though, you've seen Kevin Phillips, where's he got his hair from nowadays? Because that's come from nowhere.
Same place as Wayne Rooney, from what I've heard.
I might have to find
special shampoo called
I might have to find out who they are.
Yeah, a lot of people have said about Kevin Phillips. If only we could find a young Kevin Phillips to play for us now.
Hey, Chris, I thought you was going to say a lot of people have said about me wearing a wig then.
I can see a plane ticket to Turkey behind you, Paul.
Yeah.
Paul, I was watching some old Tilton talk shows over the weekend before the weekend, and you're the only one that looks the same.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
no change. Everybody else have got some hair, no hair, some teeth, no teeth. You, mate, totally consistent. 10 years, totally consistent.
Still as handsome.
You still look the same as when I first met you standing behind me.
Yeah.
Kept saying, who's this bloke? Didn't have to talk through his backside.
Mark, on the other hand, his hair's gone from his head to his chin. So, you know.
Hang on, I know what you're doing.
Turn around, Mark. Show him your spot. No,
There you go.
I've got an idea for the last 15, unless somebody's got one.
Oh, far away.
Okay, so as Nick's a bit poorly, I thought football and medical conditions. Football and medical conditions. That's going to be really hard, really hard.
Andy Cold.
Andy Cold.
Very good.
That's a good one.
That's me done. That's it.
That's
Done.
You're one every week.
Yeah, I do one a week.
What about Fluid Donovan?
What about Daily Adibola?
Oh no, that's my old one.
Yes.
Dealey Animal. Yeah, it's a good one. Very good. Marcus Rashford. Delia Adacrona. Heart attack of Midlothian. Very clever. Delia had a bacterial infection.
He always comes in, then he bless him, Daily.
It's brilliant. Brian Cough.
Walter Pandemic.
Walter Pandemic, yes. Paul Heart Attack. Dealey had a bowl of paracetamol.
Billy had a sick bowl spread, so probably better.
Danny Shih Tzu again.
Oh, Jason Hughes, that's very clever. Kobe Duka.
Very good. Yeah,
I like that one.
Died a Drogba. I don't know. Every week they still manage, don't they?
I know, yeah. I'm trying to think of another one now. I don't think I can top that one.
Yeah.
No, that was really good. Yeah. Eric Dyer, Rhea.
Yes. Who was that one? Who's that boy?
Jim Tony. Or Tony
That's a
Jim.
good one.
Eric Diarrhea.
Eric Dyer,
Yeah.
Rhea, yeah. Kobe Ginola. Oh, I should have had this ready for the diarrhea one, shouldn't I? Oh, there you go. So, yeah, we've got the international break coming up then, haven't we?
Yes, indeed.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah. Italy away on Thursday.
How does a team nearly at the bottom of the championship end up with having about 9 players on international duty?
Incredible.
Who are they playing for?
I know, yeah.
They'll all come back jet lagged and injured.
Yeah, they will.
And the ones that stop here training will get injured in training. So we were lucky to get a team out by the next week.
Yeah.
Brian Whoopingcough, hepatitis Bramble. Sprain Rooney, very good. Dan Scar.
That's a good one.
Very clever. Just before we go as well, Anthony Routley is doing a collection of Easter eggs for underprivileged kids. If you can get them to St Anne's, they will take them off your hands. That almost rhymes. If you can't get into town and you've got some Easter eggs, you can always drop them to me at my unit. I'm down Acox Greenway, so just message me. So let's try and get a few Easter eggs for the kiddies. Good stuff. Nikki Irritable Bowel, but Alopecia Schmeichel. Dan Bust Leg.
I'm just going to put in there Jimmy Hemorrhoid Hasselbank.
Very good.
Very good.
Simon Sprainrod.
Oh.
Kieran Diabetes. And his brother James Diabetes.
What about Roy Hodgkin's disease?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh dear, you'll have to bring it down. It's only to Nick.
There used to be a player played for Reading called Steve Death.
Really?
Steve Death.
Oh, crikey.
Yeah. That's a pretty bad medical condition, isn't it? Death.
Is he still alive? I just want to know.
No.
No.
Did he make a comeback?
I don't think so.
Oh no, crikey. On his tombstone.
Look, Cowboys next week.
Leg.
Andy broken leg, brilliant.
Broken leg.
Tony Ratley's also accepting money donations for the Easter eggs if you can't get the eggs. So if you go on Facebook and search for Tony Ratley, he'll take them off your hand and money. Great show tonight. Keep the TTS team together every week. The conversation just flowed, apart from Claire. Oh, no, it doesn't say that. Amari Bell's palsy. Tommy measles. Emery can. Oh no, can't.
Claire, I had that a year ago. Ruined my good looks, didn't it, Chris?
What did?
Oh yeah, he did. Paul had it, yeah.
What?
Yeah, I had a Mari Bell's palsy, didn't I?
Oh,
You did, yeah.
yeah. Was that a year ago, Paul?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, he did.
There we go.
It hasn't affected you at all, has it?
Boys.
Since
You
then.
look like it.
Oh, here's a good one. Delimentia.
That's a good one.
Very clever. Hodgkin's lymphomagoma.
What about Lee Cramp?
Lee Cramp.
Yeah. Hannibal palsy. Did Sunderland play at Stroke Park?
Broker Park.
Just trying to think.
What about
It's
Darren?
quite honest, it's
Darren,
romantic.
mind you, no, it's not an illness. Is it a stretcher?
No.
Yeah.
So, Paul, you're the only England fan here, apart from Claire. What's
Go on, Anna.
what's your thoughts on the game?
I think Italy away.
Oh, that'll
on-
do. So let's move on. Now go on.
Italy away on Thursday will be tough. That'll probably will be the toughest game of all of them. But it's been a long time since we beat them. Now I don't even know when the last time was. Alan, any idea?
I would say the year we didn't qualify for the World Cup, so that was in the late 70s, 78. We beat them 2-1 at Wembley, but wasn't enough to qualify.
In Italy, though, I think we.
In Italy?
Yeah.
The last one I can remember is 1960 when Jerry Hitchens was playing. We beat them 3-0.
Yeah, I think even Southgate himself said it's been a long, long time since we've won
9
there.
years, hasn't it?
Yeah, so let's hope he can, again, I'm going to say it, broken record. Let's get at them, go forward at the back and take the game to them, and hopefully we can do them some damage,
Will a lot of fans actually travel to
Yeah.
that game? Yeah.
Yeah, they normally do, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know Davo's a big England
Oh,
follower.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, he goes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to Jude score.
You get to Rome quicker than Loftus Road, Claire.
Yeah, I'd rather go
Probably
to
would,
Italy.
yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, I mean, as an England fan, it's exciting times. We've got some good players. Whether we quite got, the right coach, I'm going to say, and the right sort of defenders to get over the line and actually win a major tournament, I'm not so sure. But I think Southgate overall has done a great job in the time he's been here. Yeah, so he's got us back in the business end of tournaments. Because people forget how bad we were when he took over.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a selection person though, isn't he? Like Maguire, for example, and sadly Pope can't play, so Pickford probably will be in. Rashford's all of a sudden out. Sometimes you do wonder, is he playing the right players? But people seem to play well for England. Stones plays well for them, and see what happens. I agree. You got to go at them, see what happens.
Yeah, but
is it his last chance, Paul? Claire?
I think this Euros, I don't know about last chance, as though
After the Nations League, we were shocking.
Yeah, but
Got to play Jude.
Relegated.
Jude's got to be in there. Jude should be the first person on that team sheet.
will be now.
Yeah, I'd love to see Jude score.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that when everyone's fit, he can maybe get the form. I mean, he wouldn't have been in the team 6 months ago, but the form he's been in since the World Cup. Rashford obviously on the left, Saka right, Kane in the middle, and then Foden with Bellingham and Declan Rice in midfield would be my choice personally. You got to get Foden in there, ain't you, somehow, because he's just too good.
Yeah.
He's on fire at the moment as well.
Yeah.
He's an unbelievable player, and the same for Saka as well. What a player he is. So going forward, and the old saying is attack is the best form of defence. And if we go forward and we're clinical when we get the chances, then we could, all being well, we will qualify. And we could do some damage next summer in the World Cup. In the Euro, sorry.
Yeah.
It's like the Blues, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
And it's
But,
still
I mean, going on. People say Southgate's useless. No, he's not useless. You know, if you're useless, you don't get to semi-finals. You don't get to finals. That's that's just nonsense. That is.
People will say that he's been fortunate with the draws that we've had, which he has been. But you can only beat what's in front of you.
You can only beat,
But yeah, I mean, in the World Cup, we didn't really face anyone until Croatia, did we? And then in the Euros, Denmark was probably our toughest opponent in the Euros in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we have had a fortunate draw. But saying that though, I thought we played well against France. We probably could have won that. I know it's all shoulda, woulda, coulda, but if Harry Kane puts that penalty in, who knows what would have happened? Probably would have had the momentum with us then, wouldn't we? And gone on and won the game. I'd like to think.
Do you think Harry Kane will ever leave Spurs? I know it's not Blues related, but do you think he'll stay at Spurs like a Matt Letizia and just stay there?
He wants to win something, doesn't he? He does.
It would be criminal for him not to win.
Yeah.
It would be criminal for him not to win anything.
I've got
How
a feeling.
good he is.
I've got a feeling Real Madrid might come in for him, because Benzema's not getting any younger.
He'll go to Man United.
You reckon?
Do you think?
Yeah, I don't think he'll leave the country.
But he'll go to Man United who've won one trophy in 6 years to win trophies.
Well,
they're going to win more than one this year,
they won the
League Cup.
The League Cup. They're in the semi-final.
FA Cup,
You know, they're still up for the treble. They're still going for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. They are. But I'm not a big fan of Man United, Claire. Don't like Man United.
No, I don't like them either.
No, but I don't think they're going to be pitching to win the Premier League or the Champions League. And them are the two trophies that you're going to want most, aren't they? If I'm Harry Kane, I'm going to want to win the Premier League or the Champions League.
Well, he's 30 now, isn't he?
Yeah, the teams
30. He's got one moving in on the foot.
Yeah, I can't see Man United winning the Premier League in the next, say, 2 or 3 years. I'm not saying that they're never again, but I can't see them doing it in the next 2 or 3 years. I could be wrong, and I can't see them winning the Champions League in the next 2 or 3 years either. So,
who could any club in Europe, right? Of the clubs that could win the Champions League, of all the clubs that could win which one of those is Harry Kane going to get in?
That's Man City, no. Bayern Munich, maybe.
Yeah, Munich.
Possibility.
The only team in the top 4 at the moment that he could get in is Manchester United, and that's probably why everyone's saying. I mean, nobody's mentioned Newcastle either, who've got all this money.
Man United, new owners coming through the door by the looks of it. They're going to want to splash the cash and set. They're going to, they really want to set the place alight, aren't they? They want to start on fire, and my God, they could go out and get him,
Hogan,
Harry Kane, Harry Kane, and Jude Bellingham in one window.
I don't think they'll get Bellingham.
I don't think Jude will go to Man United.
No, I don't either. I hope he doesn't.
No,
I hope he doesn't.
No.
I hope Jude goes to Real Madrid, to be honest. I don't know why. I'd just love to see Jude in Spain.
Yeah, I think it would suit him.
We'll get a bigger cut of the fee if he goes there as well.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah. European team signing him, more money in it.
Yeah, I think you've got more chance of winning a Ballon d'Or, haven't you, at Real Madrid as well? Because
team going to Spain,
we've had some great ones come through, by the way.
Yeah, run through them before we go.
We can say this one, but Ray Hobro, genital water Pandiano. Then we've also got John McCarthy, John Kidney Stones,
clever.
Harry Broken Kneecap, Hernia Crespo.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's mine. Then I'm keeping that one. Lee Cramp, Gary Parkinson's.
That's a good one.
Peter Pancreas disease.
I think the one from Railbro is quite a good one, isn't it? Martin Migraine.
Yeah.
Ninja.
Pete Taylor as well. Gout Weghurst. That's very clever.
Yeah. But now, back on to Jude, I think, Man City, Real Madrid, Liverpool possibly as well. Liverpool will be back. And for Newcastle, going back onto Newcastle, this is just general football chat now, isn't it?
Mm.
But coming back onto Newcastle, I think this is their biggest opportunity to get in the top four, because I do think Chelsea will be stronger next season.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Thank you, everybody, for listening. So it's goodbye from Alan Watton.
Goodbye and good evening, and God bless you all.
Claire Gidmead.
Have a lovely week and see you at Blackburn. And next Monday, obviously. Mark Adams.
Yeah, have a lovely week, everyone. Look after yourselves and see you next week.
Craig Courtney.
Have a great evening, everyone. Good week. Look out for some guests announcements over the next week or so. And come on, England.
And our very special guest this week, Mr. Paul Hipkiss.
Good to be back on. And
Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. You've been listening to your Tilton Talk Show.